Is it reporting to the government or to regulators? Is it?
Yes, it's usually. That's right. It's usually, California, for example, tells you, hey, you've got to do this. It's specific in the regulations that you've got to do these inspections every so often. That you've got to, so it's basically the compliance group is going to work closely with the regulator and also work closely with, in this example that we're talking about, with the substation maintenance inspection people, and to gather the information to make sure that all the requirements are part of the maintenance plan that we talked about first off, right? So compliance people are making sure that all that work is getting done and that they're reporting back to the regulators, whether it's federal or state, on that. So that didn't used to be a big deal, but it's become in the last 5 or 10 years a bigger deal.
Okay, got it.
The other part we didn't talk about yet is designs, so the design of projects. Once the planning, usually the planning folks, the system planning folks, are usually in a more centralized function, like transmission planning, and that includes substation planning and distribution planning. Those are usually centralized. So once they've come up with a concept for a project, then someone's got to design it. So let's say there's a new substation that's going to need to get built. So another key process in the substation group is substation design. So they're going to do the detailed design, whatever that is, whether you're adding on to a substation or you're building a new substation. And so once they design it, then they tie to like project management, the construction people, and so on. But the design is more on the front end.
Yeah.
Another process that's become a bigger issue in the last 5 or 10 years is system security. I call it system security, where because of the hacking and other issues and terrorists, most companies now have people that are monitoring the systems that are in place to make sure someone can't access and create havoc. So system security is also a key function.
So would this be within the substation group, or would you centralize that similar to the kind of the planning function that you mentioned before, and more at like a transmission or distribution level?
That usually tends to be centralized. So there's a substation component, but typically companies, you're right, companies centralize that, and then that group kind of deals with the different functional groups.
Understood. What about, I think we've covered most of them then, I'm not, I don't need to go into the kind of the final level of detail on anything else that might be remaining. What I would love to get your thoughts on is actually kind of on the planning and the scheduling, of the maintenance crews, of the inspection crews. Like, how is that done?
Yeah, so usually, when we talked about maintenance and we talked about the different kind of maintenance, we should have added in there the scheduling function. So that there's a maintenance scheduling function that occurs because you've got all these crews that you've got to schedule based on criteria of the maintenance required by the assets, right? So typically the maintenance scheduling is under that maintenance key process that we talked about.
Okay.
And then the construction scheduling would be done out of the construction key process that we talked about, right?
Yeah. Got it.